They told you to chase comfort. From the moment you could walk, they were already programming you. Take it easy. Don't stress. You deserve to relax. But let me ask you, where has that comfort gotten you? Look around. Soft bodies, weaker minds. Men who used to lead empires can't even lead themselves to the gym 3 times a week. Everywhere you go, the message is the same. Scroll a little longer. Eat what you want. You've earned it. But the truth is, you've earned nothing. Society has weaponized your own biology against you. That little dopamine hit from scrolling TikTok, that rush from fast food, it's not a treat. It's a leash. And most of you are wagging your tails like trained dogs. I remember being dead broke, not tight month broke. I mean, sleeping on a mattress on the floor in a freezing apartment with bills stacked like trophies of failure. There was no comfort in that. But even then, I didn't chase pleasure. I chased purpose. While my so-called friends were out getting drunk, laughing at nothing, wasting another night, I was grinding. I was reading. I was training. I was learning to fight. Because I knew that pain was the price and comfort was the curse. I didn't have time to cry. I didn't have time to feel sorry. Life doesn't care about your feelings. The world doesn't pause for your breakdown. So I got ruthless. I cut the nonsense. I cut weak people. I cut anything that didn't serve the mission. You think the elites live the way they do because they're privileged? No, they're disciplined. I saw through the illusion early. They realize society wants you fat, dumb, docile, and dependent. They want you distracted. They want you sedated. Because a man who's locked in, a man who sees clearly, that man is dangerous. And let me tell you, when I flipped the switch, when I said enough and went dark, everything changed. No more comfort, just chaos and control. And guess what? That chaos shaped me. That fire forged me. You've got the same fire, but you've buried it under convenience and comfort. They've lied to you. Your teachers, your parents, your friends. Not because they're evil, but because they're trapped too. They bought into the dream. Study hard, get a job, work 40 years, retire, die. That's not life. That's a slow mission funeral. So ask yourself, are you living or are you just breathing and obeying? Because if you're not waking up angry at the state of your life, if you're not furious at the lies you've been sold, then you're still asleep. You're still plugged into the matrix, chasing shadows and calling them success. Wake. You've been lied to. And the worst part, you believed it. But now you know. So what are you going to do about it? You want real freedom, real power. It's not found in yachts, private jets, or Instagram likes. That's the illusion they sell to keep you chasing distractions. Let me tell you what real freedom is. It's waking up and doing exactly what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. It's discipline. It's structure. It's mastering your mind so completely that nothing, not a craving, not a setback, not a woman, not a failure, can shake your focus. They tricked you. They told you freedom is doing whatever you want, whenever you want. But look around. People doing what they want are the most enslaved people alive. Addicted to sugar, to porn, to validation, to ease. You think skipping the gym makes you free? No, it makes you weak. You think sleeping in is luxury? It's self-sabotage disguised as self-care. Discipline is the thing you run from and the thing that saves you at the same time. I was never the most talented. I wasn't born into wealth. I didn't have anyone hand me anything. What I had was hunger. And that hunger only got me so far until I realized I needed to lock into a code of discipline. Wake up early, train hard, build something, study winners, cut out losers, repeat, no breaks, no compromises. People said I was obsessive. Damn right I was. Still am. You know what's addictive? Progress. You know what feels better than pizza and sleep, knowing you're dominating your goals while others are sitting on the couch wondering why nothing changes? Discipline isn't a punishment. It's a weapon. It's the armor that lets you walk through hell without flinching. The man whose discipline can walk into any room, any storm, and stay locked in, calm, focused, dangerous. I used to spar with beasts, men who didn't care about anything except breaking you. And you know what kept me from folding? Not strength, not speed, routine, repetition, discipline. Because when the hits come, and they will, it's not your feelings that save you, it's your training. People ask me all the time, Tate, how do you stay so consistent? Easy. I don't negotiate with weakness. I don't need motivation. I have rules, and I follow them like a machine. That's what makes me free. While everyone else is a slave to their mood, I am a master of mine. That's the difference. That's the edge. If you can't control yourself, someone else will. If you won't build your own system, you'll end up serving someone else's. That's not freedom. That's quiet slavery. Modern, polite, well-dressed slavery. You'll have just enough to survive, but never enough to thrive. You'll smile for the camera, cry in silence, and wonder what went wrong. So don't tell me discipline is hard. So is being broke. So is being fat. So is hating your life. Pick your hard, because one of them leads to power and the other leads to regret. You choose. Everywhere you look, there's noise. Distractions on top of distractions. The average man today can't go 10 minutes without checking his phone, without scrolling, without filling the silence with some nonsense. You're overstimulated, underfocused, and completely unaware that it's all by design. They want you weak. They want you distracted. They want you addicted to comfort and chaos, because a distracted man is a defeated man. You think the world's just moving fast? No, it's been engineered to keep you off track. While you're worried about trending topics, while you're glued to the screen, the real players are stacking cash, building legacy, shaping the future. They're not watching, they're working. They're not tweeting about mindset, they're executing on it. I see guys talking about how they want to win, want to build wealth, want to get strong, but they can't even focus for 1 damn hour without checking Instagram. They say they want to change, but they can't commit to 30 days of real discipline. You're not serious. You're pretending to be hungry. But the truth is, you're full on comfort and excuses. And the worst part? You don't even realize it. There was a time in my life where I cut everything off. Completely. No parties, no dating, no mindless social media. I locked in. I became a ghost. Every second of every day was accounted for. I didn't care if people called me boring. I didn't care if they said I was obsessed. You know what I cared about? Winning, building, becoming unbreakable. When you lock in, truly lock in, like putting blinders on a warhorse, nothing distracts you. Not drama, not women, not fear. You become untouchable because you stop feeding the noise. You start feeding the machine. And that machine is you. But here's the truth that most people don't want to hear. Locking in means losing. You'll lose friends. You'll lose comfort. You'll lose moments that feel good in the short term. But what you gain? Clarity, control, power. When you're locked in, the world slows down. You see through the games. You move with precision. You stop reacting and start dictating. Most men drift through life like leaves in the wind. No direction, no purpose, just reacting to whatever blows their way. But the man who locks in, he becomes the wind. He becomes the force. While others scroll, he studies. While they sleep, he grinds. While they talk, he builds. And then one day, he wins. And by then, it's too late for everyone else. They're too far behind. Because he didn't just dip his toe in the grind. He dived into it and never came up for air until he had everything. This is the separation. This is what creates kings. Lock in or stay lost. Everybody wants to win until they see the price tag. They talk about success like it's some fantasy. You light a candle, make a vision board, and suddenly millions fall into your lap. That's not how it works. The universe doesn't reward desire. It rewards sacrifice. And the currency it deals in isn't luck or motivation. It's pain. Pain is the toll you pay on the road to power. And if you're not willing to bleed for it, to suffer for it, then don't even get in the car. Because real growth doesn't happen when things are easy. It doesn't happen when you're rested and happy and clapping for yourself in the mirror. It happens when you're exhausted, overwhelmed, beat down, and you keep going anyway. That's when you separate yourself from the pack. That's when the weak quit and the warriors rise. I didn't get to where I am because I smiled through life. I got here because I was willing to go through hell over and over again. I've trained with broken ribs. I've worked 20-hour days with no sleep. I've been betrayed, hated, doubted, and written off. But none of that stopped me. You know why? Because I knew every ounce of pain was sharpening me. Every setback was making me stronger. pain wasn't a problem. It was the process. Most people run from pain. They avoid it at all costs. The moment it gets hard, they fold. The second they're uncomfortable, they retreat. That's why they're average. That's why they'll never be more than spectators in the game of life. Because greatness doesn't show up wrapped in comfort. It shows up dressed like chaos, like heartbreak, like failure. And if you're not willing to stand in that fire, then you don't deserve the crown. Every scar I've earned has made me better. Every loss has taught me more than any win ever could. When I stepped into the ring and got smashed, when I started businesses and lost everything, when I walked through darkness alone, that's when I leveled up. Not when it was easy, not when things were working, but when everything felt like it was falling apart, and I kept moving forward anyway. You think you're going to build a strong body without pain? You think you're going to build a business, a legacy, a mindset that dominates the world without sacrifice, without sleepless nights, hunger, rejection, and relentless pressure? Wake up. That pain you're avoiding is the very thing that would make you dangerous. That pain is where the power is. The difference between the top 1% and everyone else isn't talent, it's tolerance. The elite can take more pain. They can carry more weight. They can suffer longer and harder and still execute at the highest level. That's the edge. That's the gap. It's the willingness to suffer now so you can shine later. So stop praying for it to get easier. Start praying for the strength to endure. You want the throne? Then walk through the fire again and again and smile while it burns, because pain is the price and kings always pay in full. Time is your most valuable asset, and you're treating it like it's unlimited. You think you're young? You think you've got time to waste? Let me tell you something brutal. The clock doesn't care. Every second that passes is gone forever. While you're hesitating, someone else is working. While you're thinking about it, someone else is executing. The man who understands time is the man who wins. People love to talk about ambition, about goals, about dreams, but they move like they've got 100 years to figure it out. You don't. There's no reset button, no second run. This is it. This is the only shot you get. Every hour you waste scrolling, sleeping in, bullshitting around with people who don't even matter, that's time you'll never get back. You think you can grind tomorrow? That's loser talk. Tomorrow's a myth. All you have is now. And here's the truth. The window is closing. You're not always going to have this energy. You're not always going to have this fire in your gut. Life hits hard. Distractions multiply. Responsibilities stack. You're going to blink and 5 years will be gone. 10 years. You'll wake up one day with regret gnawing at your gut because you didn't lock in when it mattered. You coasted. You hesitated. You wanted comfort more than you wanted legacy. You want to change your life? You want to become the kind of man who commands respect, who dominates every room he walks into? Then you've got to lock the F in. No more half measures. No more I'll start Monday. No more waiting for the stars to align. The stars aren't going to align for you. They align for the man who moves like they already have. When I decided to commit, when I truly locked in, I shut the world out. I didn't care what it cost. I didn't care what I missed. Birthdays, parties, downtime. I cut it all because I knew what I was chasing. I wasn't chasing validation. I was chasing greatness. And that doesn't come from dabbling. It comes from obsession, from commitment so deep that people think you've gone mad. Good. Let them think that. While they play, you build. While they sleep, you hunt. This isn't about motivation. Motivation is weak. This is about discipline, urgency, and war. You have to move like time is trying to kill you. Because it is. Every second you hesitate is another second your competition pulls ahead. Every moment you spend thinking about it is a moment someone else is doing it. And don't tell me you don't have time. Cut the crap. You've got the same 24 hours as every champion who ever lived. The difference is they locked in. They stopped negotiating with mediocrity. They made the decision to go all in, to live like every breath mattered. That's what separates lions from sheep. And the world has enough sheep. So ask yourself, how much longer are you going to wait? How many excuses are you going to stack before you finally make the move? The graveyard is full of people who said, I'll start tomorrow. You either lock in now or you never will. You've heard the truth now, raw, unfiltered, undeniable. No more excuses, no more distractions, no more waiting for the perfect moment. This is the moment. right now. You're standing at the edge of who you are and who you could become. And the only thing in between is whether you have the balls to do something about it. Nobody's coming to save you, not your parents, not your friends, not your boss. It's on you. And if you don't take full control, if you don't lock in with ruthless discipline, cut the dead weight, embrace the pain, and dominate your time, you'll lose. You'll coast. You'll exist instead of living. And one day you'll look in the mirror and realize the man staring back is a stranger, someone who never became what he was meant to be. But if you truly decide to lock in, to commit at a level that makes people uncomfortable, you will become unrecognizable. You'll move different, think different, win different. That's not a dream, it's a choice. One decision, one commitment, one warpath, and your whole life changes. So the question is simple. Are you gonna stay soft, stay average, stay forgotten? Or are you gonna wake the F up and lock in? Because the time isn't tomorrow. The time isn't next year. The time is now. Wait along. Let's get to work.